Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions. I hope you're having an amazing day. I am back with Tamino, and so far I have been super impressed by his voice, his presentation, the lyrics, which he in part writes at least. Uh, Everything about him so far has been very, very impressive. So let's have a look at A Drop of Blood and see what he can do with this particular song. We'll have a look at the lyrics after the song. Drop of Blood at Paris Café de la Danse 2022. Let's go.
I've seen the trees in heart of storm and clear skies. I've seen them breathe, I've seen them fall, I've seen them fly. The gentle breeze that stirs their crown flows from the storm that lays them down. Oh, may we.
He has an almost haunting voice, doesn't he? In this song in particular, at least, that's the word that comes to mind. And I also like the sort of Middle Eastern. I know that he's Egyptian as well, but yeah, I like that sound as well from his voice.
Breeze that stirs their crown flows from the storm that lays them down. Oh, may we fight and may we watch and may we find harmony like wind and tree. I've seen the sea give men a home and drown them too. I've seen her lead men back to shore to start anew, but it's never long before an old yearning rises for the cradled lands, the silence call. Let me always return to thee, like sailors to the sea. One day I fell and broke my wrist, lay still on the ground, and to carry little twigs over my still hand. Some kids around were scorning me, yet I heard no sound. And as they started to kick my back, I sank into the sand. Deep down, sank deep down, till I was part of everything. And in a grain of sand, that they own have been corrupt. For I held on to faith and have been knocking on its gate to let me see you one more time, begging to never speak the truth more than I speak of you.
Nice. Yes, bravo. Back it up a little bit. Try and get my head more out of the way. It was a little bit tricky because the video kept moving around. And I still haven't found a software that I can do all the things that I see other reactors do. I've got another one, but I'm playing with it, but it doesn't seem to be working either. So I'm afraid we're stuck with this one for now. Sorry about that. I love this song. I thought it was really well presented, and his singing voice is gorgeous. I love that tone and the ability he has to use his voice. Is very, in a sense, ghostly, and it's just deep. It just hits you really deeply, I think. Let's have a look at the lyrics now. Blood by Tamino, songwriters Joe Franken, Peter Jan Martins, probably saying that wrong, and Tamino. I've seen the trees in heart of storm, in clearest skies. I've seen them breathe, I've seen them fall, I've seen them fly. So he's seen them in calm and he's seen them in storm. The gentle breeze that stirs their crown flows from the storm that lays them down. Oh, may we fight and may we waltz and may we find harmony like wind and tree. So it's a good analogy comparing the storms that bend and twist and sometimes break, knock down the trees, and human lives. And sometimes we fight and sometimes we dance or waltz. And he's saying, may we find harmony like wind and tree. I've seen the sea give men a home and drown them too. I've seen her lead men back to shore to start anew. So, again, the good and the bad. Nature is kind and violent at the same time. uh, so, yes, the sea can give men a home, give them a livelihood, but it can also drown them and it can also kill them. And I've seen her lead men back to shore to start anew. So sometimes they get another chance. It sometimes brings them back in and they're not drowned, I guess. But it's never long before an old yearning rises for the cradled nights, the sirens call. Let me always return to thee like sailors to the sea. Um, Not entirely sure what he's talking about here, but later on he mentions faith, so it could be that. I'm going to keep going and I'll see. One day I fell and broke my wrist and lay still on the ground. Ants were carrying little twigs over my still hand. Some kids around me were scorning me, yet I heard no sound. Then as they started to kick my back, I sank into the sand. Deep down, sank deep down, till I was part of everything, and in a grain of sand saw peace in Holy Land, and saw you right in front of me. Shapeless, sacred dust, beaming light and trust, covering all harm in shade. Then in a drop of blood saw wars be fought for good, and saw you make way for man's truth. Well, I'm not sure I can agree with these lyrics too much. It's going to be, this is probably going to be my problem area with this song because I don't agree with it, of course. But what I do agree with is that a lot of people have an experience that um, they think is seeing a god or a holy land or something of that nature. I think it's a part of our nature, but that's all it is. It's not God, um, and I'm afraid that if it is, in the religions that I'm aware of, he is very violent. So it's not peaceful and it's not calm. And most wars although I understand why people fight and you don't want to be dominated, etc. I mean, do they bring peace? That's a big question. I guess that's an unsolved question at this point. But I understand his meaning, but I think it's problematic for me. Shapeless, sacred dust, no such thing. Beaming light and trust. But you sometimes feel that you're a part of something much, much bigger than you. I just don't know why we have to go outside of nature. It's so much bigger than me already. I don't need to fabricate a false being or entity to answer for that and then make up things that other people are supposed to follow from that. It's just too much of a stretch for me. So that's where he loses me there, I'm afraid. But I understand, especially if he was a child, how that feeling could be there. Just for a while, though, just enough to lose my youth. From that day on, I've been corrupt, for I've held on to faith, and I've been knocking on its gate to let me see you one more time, begging to never speak the truth more than I speak of you. Complicated lyrics, not entirely sure again what his meaning is here. So I've been corrupt, for I've held on to faith. So is it corrupt to hold on to faith? I might be a bit more in agreement with him all of a sudden. I'm not sure that's what he means, but I could agree with that, because instead of holding on to faith, let's look at reality. Let's look at what we can find and find a way to be peaceful and in harmony with one another. Look at those trees again, but don't say, look, the trees, there's God. No, they're trees. So yeah, if that's what he means, I could agree with him here, but I'm not sure whether that's what he means or not. He may have written this so that it sort of pleases everyone and in a sense doesn't please anyone if you think of it that way, because it can't be both. But I'm not really sure, and I'm not sure what his original intent was. It doesn't matter. It was a beautiful song, really well sung. He's got an amazing voice. I really love it. I love what he does. I like that instrument too. I forgot to mention that. And I think maybe someone mentioned the instrument to me before, but I'm not positive, and I can't remember the name if they did. So I should find out about that maybe. But that was really nice. Just that and his voice together, um, really nice. The lyrics are great. I mean, I love the lyrics, but they can be debated and argued over, I think, maybe. And what did he exactly mean? I'm not sure. To let me see you one more time. I've been knocking on its gate to let me see you one more time. Sounds like a god. Begging to never speak the truth more than I speak of you. So for me, I'm still sort of reading this like the faith is wrong, because I I beg not to speak the truth more than I speak of you. So I'm going to continue to speak of you even when it's not true. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. I might get some nasty comments about that, but I don't know what Tamino means, and it's not entirely uh, important to in a sense, because the song is the song, and what he meant at the time and what he means now and how he thinks now, I don't know the man, but I thought it was amazing. I really loved it all in all, and I find the lyrics intriguing. I like when things make you think, whether you agree with them or not. They make you think. That's important. I teach all ages, and we have great conversations, great debates. I don't always agree with them. They don't always agree with me, and that's okay. That's fine. As long as we keep working toward trying to find evidence and truth, that's what matters to me. And I need something to show that. I have been in awe, and when I was very young, a child, teenager, well, mostly child, maybe a little bit in my teen years as well, I believed in spirits and ghosts and things of that nature, uh, but I learned what was going on, and I no longer do. Now, if someone comes up with proof, with evidence, maybe I will again. I've had a lot of experiences, but they're happening up here. They're not happening out there. Anyway, A Drop of Blood. Very, very good. Tamino is amazing. I will continue on with Tamino, even if some of you disagree with me on these lyrics. I think he's a wonderful artist. It's Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Until next time, bye bye for now.